It wasn't
Hey
our
everyone,
fault.
the children are definitely driving the school bus today. As an
Oh,
exception.
yeah. Thanks.
Wow, that
Thanks,
was
software.
18 minutes of hell with Be Live. I have to honestly say, I'm never going to be using this software again, unless
Yeah,
I'm
we need to
forced to.
get you
Holy
switched
crap.
over to Streamlabs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Sorry, folks. It's been like really amateur hour here. So, Starla, you want to do some talking? I'm going to get set up here in the
Yeah,
background
no
and
problem.
calm down a little bit, and then I'll be ready to
Yeah.
behave like a normal person.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. That was stressful, but we've got it all figured out now. Pam isn't here today. Today we're going to be doing some demos. I know a lot of you have been posting, wanting to know where the heck the Keyword Explorer went. So we're going to be explaining that to you very soon, especially since you all know that we just made some updates to the Keyword Explorer. So you'll get to learn where all of that stuff went. I also have a couple links I wanted to share with you guys, a couple of bits of news that I think are pretty important. I've linked those down below in the actual video description if you expand that out. Etsy's holiday policy update. So Etsy basically released an article a few days ago. It was actually last Tuesday, called How Etsy's Supporting Your Success This Holiday Season. And they made 3 really interesting points that I'm going to be making a video on my channel on Tuesday, kind of going more in depth into them. But the cliff notes are that the purchase protection program for sellers, the one that covers up to $250 if you qualify, if your orders get lost, stolen, or damaged in transit, that's going up to $500. Now it's worded kind of tricky. It says that we'll increase Etsy purchase protection for sellers by covering refunds on qualifying orders up to $500 during the holiday season. So I don't know if this is something that we can expect to stick around, but that's a good thing. That's pretty cool. I hope that it's something that they'll consider keeping, after the holidays. They talk about having more customer support for the holidays.
Ooh.
Again, tricky wording. It says providing 24/7 support. But I also know that most of us don't have the live chat feature. If you do, you're one of the lucky ones. I don't have it. So don't know if maybe they're going to roll out more live chat for us, but they are talking about that over 80% of chats are answered within 1 minute and nearly 90% of requests are resolved in less than 24 hours. Hasn't been my experience lately, so maybe this is something that they're working on. Only time will tell. They also mentioned, though, at the bottom of that, we've also created a dedicated process for sellers experiencing issues with account suspension so that they can quickly file an appeal and have a specialized agent review their case, because we've all seen those horror stories of people who are wrongfully deactivated for no reason. They have a whole page for that in that article. So if you click the link down below in the video description, under the providing 24/7 report, there's actually a link in there to find that page for that appeal process. And then lastly, they've been talking a lot about their trust and safety update. Basically, they are working harder than ever to remove products on Etsy that don't belong on Etsy. So items that are, bought in bulk on sites like eBay and Alibaba and being resold. So they're cracking down on those deactivations. They said that this year that they have removed, let's see, that they've increased the number of listings that they've removed by 112%. So those are all interesting things. There's one more link down below. It's Etsy's new Share and Save program. That's the thing I'm most excited about. A lot of you guys have asked, is this a good thing? How do we feel about this? Are there any, is there fine print? As of right now, everything looks awesome. I have no critiques on this Share and Save program. It's a great way to get yourself out there. I've got a lot of people who are afraid to share their social media links because they think that if they share their social media links, somehow I don't know. They think it's going to hurt their Etsy shop. There are a bunch of YouTubers out there who apparently teach, don't advertise your Etsy shop on social media because you'll get a bunch of traffic that doesn't convert and it'll hurt your listings. But Etsy's Ultimate Guide to Search tells us that external traffic coming from those external links, the conversion rate from those aren't isn't what matters. It's conversion from search. It's people who are searching for a specific product on Etsy, typing those keywords in. And if they click on your listing, don't find what they want and click off of it, then Etsy might assume that maybe you're not selling, you know, the thing that they searched for, or maybe they're not satisfied when they click on your listings when they're searching for that thing. So honestly, I think that this is a great program, and I definitely recommend you going in there and getting that share and save link and putting it on all your social medias and your like Instagram link in bio, TikTok link in bio, and anytime you advertise. So those links are down below. Look for the little yellow fingers that are pointing. Anthony, are you ready to chat about the keyword tool?
I think I am. Yes.
Awesome.
Finally. Wow. Thank you for covering there. I literally, I don't know, it's the internet gods punishing me today for waking up in a good mood, I think. Gosh. Wow. So didn't even really get to say hi to people. I posted a link to this stream in YouTube while you were talking there, because we had, when I started looking, 2 people, which I think might have been Debbie and Jessica, and 50 something in the other stream. And I've got a rogue cat that wants to be up here with me today.
And well, that's okay, Anthony.
Barricaded everything here, so it's like a combination of things here. I'm just waiting for the clown truck to come up and take me away. Now, yes, I am ready to share the screen. So for those of you who haven't logged in the last 3 days, we made a big change to our keyword tools. So is this microphone on?
Yeah. Oh, you were, sorry, you're only this big on my screen. I didn't realize.
Oh yes, yeah, that's my cat. Hello, cat. So in the last few days, we merged the Keyword Explorer into the keyword tool. So the whole thing is to reduce confusion. And of course, sometimes when you release something new, you create a whole bunch of new confusion. So I wanted to show you how it all works now. Nothing in terms of content has been removed. So it's still all there. We've just rearranged it into one place so it makes more logical sense. So and it looks like we've got a few cat fans here. Come on.
Show the cat. Show the cat.
You will not allow me to pick her up. But come on, up here. Come on. Oh, goodness me. There she is. That is live YouTube for you. That's Gracie. She's very aloof, but very affectionate when she's ready.
Just not right now.
No. Okay. So, so we merged the Keyword Explorer into the keyword tool. So now we have the one place where you can go and do your Etsy keyword research, but you can also do your Amazon keyword research, your eBay keyword research. And can anyone guess what the most recent one is that we just added yesterday?
Ooh, there's like a 30-second delay. So
yeah, so we'll see who wins that prize. I don't know what we're giving away, Starla. Maybe it's
oh, are we going to give away something? We can give away something.
You win the prize or something like that. So we also added Pinterest to the list of marketplaces. Technically, it's not a marketplace, but we added it anyway. So let's see. Now, I'm going to conduct a little bit more in the way of shenanigans here and see if I can get the screen arranged just the way I want it without losing Starla.
You can lose me if you have to.
Yeah, not one of them is going to work, is it? Okay, Starla, I'm going to have to hide you in the corner here. So I think I can still hear you, but I believe no one else can hear you. So sorry about that. And we continue. Ta-da! Okay, there we go. So now you will notice there is no more Keyword Explorer here. It's just Keyword Tool. So you can pop into click on the Keyword Tool button and away you go. Or you can just pop into the search box and start typing away. So I'm just going to search for my good old favorite slime and click on that. And it will go and do its thing. You'll see when it loads up, it'll have the usual stats, the keyword stats, the search trend, and what country they're from. up at the top. That's always been the same with Keyword Tool and Keyword Explorer. You can sort of tell that we've been slowly working our way towards this because a lot of the stuff is visually identical. Anyway, so that's where it is now. Now, when you scroll down, you'll notice, well, you may not notice, and so we put in a little quick tour to show this, but we've added 4 tabs in here. So by default, you've got the related searches that real people have been searching for on Etsy that contain the word slime. So you'll see the list down there. This is the classic Keyword Explorer view that you would have seen. If you were looking for, or if you look at this and you go, I've only got a handful of results here where I used to have a whole lot, you're probably looking at the top tags, which would be the tags that we found in those listings that came up when we searched for slime. That's in the top tag section now. So what you'll see there are more interesting keyword ideas, but not necessarily as relevant. So that's still there. It's the same layout, same content that's always been there. If you remember the word cloud and pretty graphs and things like that, that's in the SERP analysis tab. So again, content hasn't changed, just the place where we store it now. And lastly, if you go in to look at the top listings that we analyzed, then you can click on the top listings tab and they're in there. So that's really the gist of it. I will add that we are still looking at people's feedback. So if you go through and you think, I'm not quite sure about this, let us know. Don't just vent at us, let us know what we could be doing better here. Going back to the old thing is not really an option. So just saying undo it won't work. But if you say, hey, could you do this because it would be much more practical, let us know. And that's the same for any tool that we've got. I did want to say, as we go through here, just to remind people, this is relatively new here. We've got phrase match and exact match. So you can get more precise with what you're looking for, or get more precise results that closely relate to what you're searching for. So if I did something like home decor, search for that, and we'll just give it a second to load up here. When this loads, what I can do is I can use the phrase match to basically show results that contain the words home and decor, not necessarily in that order, and may have a few different words in between. Or if I use the exact match, then it must contain home decor in that order with no other words in between. So you will get fewer results, but they'll be more closely resembling what you searched in the input box. And lastly, we also have the ability to filter out results. So if you do not make digital downloads and you are tired of looking at SVG coming up in the suggestions, you can put in SVG in there, you can put in PNG, you can keep going and keep going. You hit apply, and then the results that come back, those related searches, will include everything that is a phrase match or an exact match. Oh, and I did it wrong. I meant to exclude. That's why there was nothing there. I'm just going to reset. Exclude SVG and PNG. I will apply that, and then basically it'll show related searches that do not contain those words in there. So that is it. I'm going to bring Starla back in because I think she's yelling in the background at me about something.
Glad I had a countdown.
All right. So everyone, please get your questions in because that's what we're here for, to answer your questions. This is a Q&A. It's not just Anthony demoing with a cat trying to climb all over his keyboard at the same time. Let's see if I can get her into the shot here. Oh. No, she's going to be hiding just behind my monitor, but that's those ears.
Amy had asked, will Pinterest be extended to more than just the US?
So, yes, it will be. I need to review the amount of international keyword data we have for Pinterest. Last time I checked, we didn't have a huge amount outside of the US. So I'll double check again. If it's possible, then we will absolutely be bringing in additional countries.
Awesome. And
Yep.
I assume that, as with most of these platforms, that the US is going to be quite representative of what the average, search volumes are going to look like, just because US users probably make up a majority of Pinterest user base, similar to how that US data is pretty valuable even for non-US sellers for Etsy.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Now I better go into the sites feature and type in Pinterest.com, see where they come from. This is not scripted, by the way. You didn't set me up for this. I just said, okay, where are they coming from? So the majority, actually, here you go. So you can see there is a big majority of users that are US based. So the UK, I'm guessing, is about 1/6. So the amount of keyword data, if everything goes to scale, we've probably got about 1/6 of the data for the UK compared to the US, and even less for Germany, France, Canada, Australia, and sadly New Zealand's way down the bottom there. So, but we have got other countries as well. I'll see if there's anything else in there. We may have a lot for India or Turkey, but we'll see. I'm always open to expanding the keyword tool features, the regions, the countries, the marketplaces and platforms, I guess, if you count Etsy, Pinterest as a platform.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to things like general trends, most countries are going to follow pretty general trends that if you're seeing it in the US, it's likely going to be popular in other places as well. Now, there are going to be specialized exceptions in different language and ways that people search that might vary slightly, just depending on where they are. We see that a lot, where Pam and I talk together about how, she searches for things in the UK and how I search for things, and we use different terminology. But in most cases, especially when it comes to general trend research, the US is going to have the biggest slice of the pie. It's going to represent the biggest, average of what most users are going to search for. So definitely don't discount US data, especially if with some of our other tools, like, for example, when you're looking at Etsy data, if you're not seeing what you are looking for, maybe you're filtering specifically by UK data and you're not really getting good results, dive into that US data, because you might find some golden nuggets in there.
So true. Let's have a quick look at where Etsy users are from. Now, this, again, doesn't include countries like India and Turkey in there, but you will get a good idea of how the US compares to the other English-speaking markets out there. So, yeah, you'll see from here the US is driving the trend here, and generally, I mean, I can talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs, or cricket in Australia or UK or India, and you're not going to see trends for that sort of stuff. There is country-specific stuff in there, but if you're looking for good general guidance, I think the US will be sufficient.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Did Etsy update the search function to include or exclude SVG or digital listings? On Etsy specifically, I don't think that we have any search filters that allow us to do that. And if
I'm not aware of anything like that. You would probably have to put those special operators in, like minus SVG, into the box.
Yeah, let me pop in. I will take a double look check real quick on their actual sorting process, but I don't think so. No. Doesn't seem to be an option in the search filters.
And keep getting those questions in, everyone. Very good to hear what's going on.
A couple people are wondering about, this is a good one for you. Pam and I answer this one a lot. Oh, okay. When search numbers show unknown, does that mean that it's actually unknown, or that it's just so low that even less than 20 doesn't fit?
So it's just so low that we don't have data for that keyword. So we can look back typically over a 15-month period, and we don't have any of our panelists that have been searching for that phrase. Now, doesn't mean it's a bad keyword, because the way you're looking for it may be different to how they're looking for it. So, for example, if I am on Etsy and I'm looking for decor, I type in decor, and then I go, okay, I'm going to get a bit more specific here. I'm going to go and add Halloween to the end of that, and then it's decor Halloween. Now, if I then go and look for that in eRank, or let me put it another way, other people may say, I'm looking for Halloween decor, not decor Halloween. So if you're caught on the other end of a keyword variation, you may see unknown. We are working on a way to start to match those combinations, sort of similar to how Etsy does it. Because if you go and search for Etsy using either variation, you'll get almost identical results back. There'll be subtle variations, but it's almost identical. So we are working on ways to merge those two together. So we're actually really close to releasing that. It's going to be a whole lot of updates that come through. So you'll start to see the unknowns go down, but we're not going to make up numbers just because we think someone's searching for it, but we have no evidence to prove that. So that's why you'll see unknown in there.
Yeah, and I've actually found some golden nuggets with some unknown keywords. We just opened up a new shop where we license with authors to create their merch. So obviously it's a very specific niche, but the type of people who are searching for those types of products want that very specific thing. Some of the book series that we are licensed for, I was going in and looking at some of the competitors who are also licensed to sell those products. And they have fantastic sales on some products very specifically related to these keywords that are based on these books. And we have gone through and clicked through these keywords, and they're mostly all unknown because it's just such a specific niche. But these keywords explain exactly what it is that we're selling, and we're seeing competitors doing well with them. So I've just made a keyword list of all my keywords that have unknowns so that I can keep an eye on them, because I know that these are keywords that a lot of people might not use. Maybe my competitors aren't using them. Maybe they're shying away from these terms because they believe that nobody is searching for them, when in reality, maybe they're being highly searched. It's just they're being searched in such a niche market that we don't have that data over at eRank. So definitely experiment with those things. It's totally worth it.
Yeah. The other bit I'll add is we're actually negotiating with a new data provider as well that could bring in some missing data that we don't already have. So you never know. We're always looking for ways to fill in those gaps so that we can give you the best possible estimates for those search volumes. All right. Keep those questions coming in. These are great questions.
All right. Well, Judy came back with another one. So Judy will supply us with all the questions today. Is there something in the tool to lead us searching? For example, a Grammy shirt to know that pregnancy reveal for Grammy might be a better term. So basically she's asking if she is searching for one term, but there's a better option out there, is there a way for eRank to suggest that better option? And what do you know? The keyword ideas.
So it's a really interesting idea. We don't have something that is kind of foolproof that will give you the different variations, but if you were to go to the top tags when you do a search, what was the example?
It was Grammy shirt. So I assume like grandma, like Grammy pregnancy reveal for that's a very specific set of
yeah,
keywords.
that's too specific. I'll go Grammy shirt, see what we come back with there. So what I'm doing, I hope you can see this.
I mean, I this is kind of how I search, where I start with a term that, I start with a term that I'm not sure of, or I start with a very, very broad term, and I pop down to that keyword ideas section and I start sifting through, because the great thing about the keyword ideas section is I've also noticed that occasionally if I'm searching one book series, I'll get a suggestion for another popular book series that people are searching for. And it's actually helped me to find other authors to license with. So
yeah. Well, you're bang on, other than we don't have the keyword ideas section anymore. It's been renamed to related searches. But one area that I like using, is the top tag section. This is the classic keyword tool results in here. So you can see grandma shirt, Grammy gift, things like that. So it gets a little bit more out there. But again, I don't think it's answering or giving you those suggestions. What we're looking at when I was talking about bringing those different and close variations together for certain words. So if I typed in decor Halloween, what we want to do is bring in all those close variations, maybe plurals and singulars, and not only add those statistics up, but also show you a little message that says, here are the close variations that other people search for. Now, Etsy should catch those variations. They should, but I think it's good for you to know those as well, just to help you think about how other people are searching. Perhaps they are searching in a slightly different way to you are. So yeah, I think it will get you onto the right track when we implement this. But for now, yeah, I'd look in the top tags or the related searches, but I wouldn't use such a long phrase. Just do Grammy shirt or something like that, 2 or 3 words, and then see what comes back from that.
Yeah. Linda had said I work with gender reveal and work from there. That would probably be a good
yeah.
Let's see. I'm just really curious if you've ever seen any data on Ireland on your side. Have we more than 10 buyers?
Yes. We actually, well, you don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of data from Ireland, but it's on par with New Zealand in terms of volume, the amount of data that we've got there. So I think we could possibly give you like the top 100 keywords in Trendbuzz, put them in there for Ireland with a reasonable degree of confidence. I say reasonable degree of confidence. If I just had 10 people in the data pool that we've got, then I'm not going to publish that because that's not reliable. We really have to have tens of thousands of people in the panel to do that. So I'll check on Ireland, see what we can do there. I mean, we're able to add India. Turkey and the Netherlands are almost at that critical mass. And it's not 10,000, it's more than that. I just can't remember the number that the developers have. But we've got other countries that are on the cusp of being the panel size being large enough that we can support them.
All right. Oh man, here's one. Have you seen the new titles yet, Anthony, on a search page?
Have I seen them?
The cleaned up titles.
Etsy's manipulating the.
Yeah. So on search pages now, Etsy, anything that is before any type of punctuation is all that shows on a search page. Now, I like it. However, there are a lot of cases where people have put punctuation in places that aren't ideal for their title to be cut. Yeah. It looks really nice. The algorithm's still reading the full title. It's just for shoppers.
It's just a cleaner presentation, is it?
Exactly.
So is the apostrophe considered a punctuation?
Yes. Oh, no, not apostrophes, commas. I don't think apostrophes.
Oh, like the delimitas, like the comma, the hyphen, the slashes, those things.
Slashes, dashes, pipes. Yeah, it's so it looks nice on a search page, but then again, like if you started your listing with digital file dash and then the explanation, you only get digital file. So and I've had this question all week, people asking, is this just a test? Is it permanent? Etsy hasn't said a thing about it. They rolled it out very quietly. They do a lot of testing before the holiday season. So
hell's bells.
My suggestion would be that if your titles are obscene, like you look at them and it's like 1 or 2 words that are representing your whole product in a search page, I would go ahead and change them. And I know that really sucks, especially for those of you who have a butt ton of listings. But we are seeing those first holiday shoppers. So I would definitely clean up that presentation with the expectation that Etsy is making this change permanent. And if they don't, cool. I think it looks nice, but I definitely can see people being upset.
Wow. Yeah, I'd be upset too, especially if you've got a nice style and you, as you said, that scientific term, if you've got a butt ton of listings in there, that's
anything but the metric system. Anything but the metric system.
Okay. That's not metric. All right.
Metric butt ton. But yeah.
Get your questions in, people, please. You've gone blurry, Starla.
Cindy saving the day. When using keywords and tags, will Etsy pick out words separately within multiple word tags? So is it beneficial to add words together in a tag, even if they don't really make sense? Yeah, Etsy plays a fun little game of mix and match with like all of those words. But if you can if you can get an exact match though, so if you're wanting to rank for, I don't know, mom's silver necklace or something, it would be better to have that complete phrase intact within a tag, mom's silver necklace. But if the keyword that you're really trying to exact match for is Mother's Day silver necklace, that's going to be too long to fit in your tags. Divide it out in the way that makes the most sense. Mother's Day as a tag, silver necklace as a tag. And like you said, is it beneficial to add words together in a tag, and even if they don't really make sense? Yeah, because if Etsy's going to mix and match all those words up anyway, it's better to get those opportunities in there. I always say, and what Etsy says in the Ultimate Guide to Search, everything that's in your title should be down in your tags, but not everything in your tags needs to be in your title. So if you've got some words that, maybe they're just too hard to rank for, or they're really specific, or maybe they're really broad, maybe it's like stocking stuffer for grandma or something, go ahead and get those in your tags, because it's really just an opportunity to get some good keywords in there, get some experimental keywords in there. I usually get to the point where I've got 8 tags left, and then I'm stuck. That's about the point where I have to start throwing in some nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Anna said, LOL at the cattail floating in front of Anthony, because it just keeps.
She's calmed down now. It was literally like 10 minutes before Starla and I were preparing, and she decided to activate. I have a little bed for her in my office here, and yeah. It all happened. And she knows we're talking about it now.
Diane said, I was exploring the Keyword Explorer this morning and found the top shops tab. What constitutes a top shop? What is the criteria?
Okay, I think the terminology was a little mixed up there.
Yeah.
Exploring the keyword tool this morning and looking at the top listings section. So for those of you who remember the keyword tool of old, it was a really long page. You had the stats at the top and the graph. You had the SERP analysis, then you had the top tags, and then you finally have the top listings. What we do for looking at those top tags is we say to Etsy, hey, Etsy, give us the top 100 listings for this phrase. And that's what we show in the top listings there. Now, this comes directly from Etsy's API, but it doesn't include ads and it doesn't include personalization. So, and it changes all the time. So that's their dynamic ranking in there, but you'll get those top 100 listings that we've seen. That's what you'll see in that section there.
All right. Another question you probably get very often. It is, what is the visibility score on listings based on?
Oh, okay. That's an easy one to explain, but sort of easy. So think of this. You've got a listing that gets 10 views a day. Now, that would be absolutely amazing. That would have a visibility score. I think we got to 99, which means you're in the top percentile, the top 1% of listings. That's, like way up there. If you had a visibility score of, I don't know, 10 or 11 or something like that, that means that listing's daily views is down in the bottom 10% or something like that. That's really what it is. Think of it as how many views per day your listing gets, and then we stack rank them. The higher that number is, It just means you're in that certain percentile. I just heard me saying that didn't come out so clearly as I thought it would, but I hope that makes sense. Please,
All right, Mabel the
Pam actually
Woodle.
has a really good way to explain that.
Yeah. Mabel the Woodle asked, I saw a huge spike for my main/common keyword. In July, it was about 200. And for August, it jumped to 4,400. The same thing happened last year, October to November. Do you think it could be a bug or a fluke? Or Mabel the Woodle sells very specific products. She sells products for mostly doodle owners, like the dog.
I'm glad you qualified that. Okay, so
I mean, October, if it's jumped in August, like July was slow. Summer is always slow. August, September, October, November, we kind of start to see that climb up for certain industries, especially when it comes to holiday related gifts. If this is something that you're seeing every year, because you said it happened last year, October to November, that to me sounds like holiday shoppers. And I noticed this year that a lot of the holiday related terms took off a lot earlier than they did last year. I feel like holiday shoppers are getting on it a little faster this year than they did last year.
Yeah, I suspect it's something to do in the industry or something like that. And Michelle has just chimed in with August is National Dog Day.
Oh,
so
okay.
I dare say dog owners are very keen to shop on Etsy during that time. That's my hope. I don't know. It's not an area that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it sounds like seasonality.
Yeah,
I can't figure out what the trigger is.
Keep an eye on it. I would be curious to know what it looks like again next year. And if it does the same thing around fall of next year, then I would dare say that fall is your season, or August into fall.
Yeah, I'd even go as far to say maybe try to maximize your shop listing, optimize your shop listings in advance of that next year, so that you're ready to capitalize should history repeat itself again.
Yeah, she said that the keyword is just golden doodle.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Terrific.
Let's see. Diane, let's see. I think the cutting off at the punctuation is a test, because when I looked, I'm seeing the longer titles. The best way to test it, I found, is to search the word invitation, because a lot of people sell editable invitations. And if you see some that just say editable, you'll know that they had editable dash and then a description of what that invitation is. That's been the best one that I've tested with. I'm seeing the titles cut off. I just double checked it. But when Etsy runs tests, they usually do them in batches. They roll it out to small groups. I mean, we do that at eRank.
Yep, just to torture people.
Yep.
Gaslighting, right? No, there's actually a very good reason for that. I joke about it, but it is better to test a very small sample first of all, that to see, one, if there's anything wrong, like if something breaks, but two, it's really to measure how people engage with that change. And if people are engaging with that change in a positive way, like for Etsy, for example, if people are now buying more on Etsy, then they may push that change out further, see if it scales, and if everything works out well, then they will make it official and roll it out to everyone. But Etsy are continuously experimenting with their designs. So anyone that's been around for a year or so will tell you they love to meddle.
Especially right now.
Yeah, I think they try to get most of their experiments done before shopping season.
Yeah. I tend to see them start in August, and they usually cut them off in October. So I dare say that if by like early next month we're still seeing those short titles, they're probably going to keep them around for the holidays, at least for certain groups. And you got to keep in mind that when Etsy is running tests like this, they're collecting data. They're seeing if these tests are working, if they're resulting in better conversions. So if Etsy keeps this change, it likely means that it was helping people to make sales. So we can't really, I mean, yeah, it sucks that we got to do a little extra work, but it's potentially a good thing. It might be something that leads to, you know, customers being happier with the platform. And that's what we all want, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Sometimes we get adversely affected by it, or we think we have, but it could be other factors as well. But Etsy, I can tell you now, they will not be rolling something out that decreases conversion rate by 10% or something like that. That would be madness, and people would be getting fired for that.
Yeah. Robin had asked, can you explain the hashtags? Do you mean, can you
elaborate
Robin?
on that?
Yeah,
Please.
Robin. Do you mean our hashtag tool over at eRank, or are you asking just a general? I'm not a big fan of the hashtag tool.
Yeah, it's a bit of a. I'll answer that one. The hashtag tool basically converts whatever words you put in there into hashtags. Simple as that. So if you're posting something in Twitter or elsewhere that accepts hashtags, you can just copy and paste through there. That's what it is. It's one of those features which I've actually removed before, and people complain. I missed that. So go figure. It's a small number of people that are passionate about it.
Yeah. When it comes, yeah, she said yes at eRank. So when it comes to hashtags, social media is kind of my jam. Using that tool is great if you have no hashtag strategy at all. You don't know what you're doing. You're not using any hashtags. Some are better than none. However, I don't know where Anthony went, but I'll keep going. Most social media platforms these days, they aren't relying as much on hashtags anymore, especially platforms like Instagram. Right now, Instagram looks more at keywords in your Instagram caption. So where you're actually filling out the text that goes with your photo or your reel, they're looking at that text. So the more updated strategy, it used to be like get 30 hashtags in your Instagram captions. Now the strategy is to keyword optimize those Instagram captions with keywords that are related to your target industry or your target market, to help Instagram's algorithm get a feel for what it is you want to be known for, what your brand is about, who your target audience is, and who they should essentially show that content to. And then add in 3, 4, maybe 5 hashtags that are related to things that your customers might be clicking on. Because ultimately, a hashtag is a link. It is a way for your post to be linked to other similar posts. So for me, talking about the shop we just opened, we license with authors, we create merch for them. I use the hashtags related to those book titles, because I know that I'm going to connect with people who are interested in possibly buying things like that because they're interested in that book. They might not necessarily be looking for, that book title stickers though, because that's very specific. You have to remember it's social media, not marketing media. People that are there to be social. So I recommend trying to find some hashtags that are closely related to the type of person and their interests. So for me, rather than using hashtag book merch, I might use hashtag bookstagram, because bookstagram is the community of people who get book recommendations from each other on Instagram. And I want to tap in to that community. So any hashtag strategy is better than none. But when it comes to actually deep diving, I do recommend spending some time looking at your competitors, especially competitors that are not on Etsy. Like I'm talking about big dogs in your industry. If you sell silver jewelry on Etsy, look at the hashtags that someone like Tiffany & Co. is using, and kind of steal some of their hashtag strategy. You're back.
I am. Sorry, that little mischievous cat has been booted.
All right, let's see. Any idea how many people are now able to use, post, or see the Explore feature on Etsy? Last I checked, I still didn't have it. I haven't checked recently, but last I checked, I still didn't have it.
Yep. No
so I can check again. later and see if that's updated. I quit looking for it because I still didn't have it, but I have been seeing a couple of people talking about, seeing results from it. I wish I had the opportunity to play with it, but I believe that only Apple users have had it up. I don't know if Android has it yet.
I wonder if we could look through our data and see whether there's a percentage.
That would be awesome to know. Yeah, last I heard, Apple users were the only ones who had it.
Okay, we've got a few Apple users here, so see what we can find. All right. Well, I don't know about you, Starla, we're at the hour. I don't mind going over 15 minutes because we sort of lost 15 minutes at the beginning.
Yeah, we have a couple questions left, so maybe we can just pop through those last ones and we should be good.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Well, get your last questions in.
All right. Abyss Wares had asked, what about adding where to buy blank or like the best blank to tags? Shirts with blank on them as a tag. Would it help rank in Google? That's an interesting question. If you just left it,
Well, I'm assuming they're not putting the word blank in there. That seems to be
right, but just
unnecessary.
not including that term since
I can see some benefit there. If it's appropriate, then yeah, I don't see any issue there. It's a sort of broad approach there. I when I was hearing you describe it, I was thinking of gift for men, dad, son, uncle, nephew, things like that. So I think it's just a variation on that. I don't see any issue with that. Could help with Etsy too.
I was actually popping into the keyword tool and I was going to take a peek myself and see, but I've got too many tabs open. Nothing's working. Let's see. I know that what you said earlier about the Pinterest data outside of the US, also loving the Google shopping data. Is that being expanded beyond the US at all?
Same situation. We have a truckload of US data for Google shopping, a lot less internationally. I think Google had some issues getting traction in other markets. But I'll check again. We'll see if that has increased. Again, it's like a critical mass. Once we get to a certain number of people, then we can start to release those. So I'll look into that. Possibly, I think from memory, and it's been about a year since I looked, I think we had a good chunk of UK data for Google shopping. I'll go and see what we can add. And if there's anything else, like if there are other marketplaces that you're interested in, let us know. We're always open to looking at those as well. Fair is one that keeps popping up. Unfortunately, Fair is like really tiny. I was actually chatting to Sophie, who works on our team, and she was asking, can we add Fair? And we could, but the data is really, really small. Like we added teachers for teachers. Was that it? Teachers pay teachers.
Yeah.
Yep. And that really was right on the cusp. So we just had enough data for that. But yeah, other marketplaces, other countries, other combinations, let us know.
All right. Cindy asked, how do people use the copy tags function? Is that in reference to within the keyword tool when you have the ability to click the little boxes beside the keywords and build out a little list to copy?
I can probably show.
Hey, Anthony, didn't I beg for that tool?
You did.
I did.
And
I use it all the time.
You did, yeah. So I'll share my screen again.
You can get rid of me. It's fine.
People have been insisting on that for years, Starla. I kid.
What do you guys
when
think?
you're not here, they're mourning. They're going, oh gosh, Anthony's here again. Okay, so the copy functionality is pretty simple. You just pick the words that you're interested in, like so, hit the copy, and then that is in your clipboard. Those words are in your clipboard. So you could theoretically go and paste them in just like that. And hopefully you can see that. They just comma separate them. So you can go into your tag section on Etsy and paste them straight into your tags if that's what you want to do with that.
Yeah, it's a big time saver, especially if you've already got a good feel for your target audience and the type of terms that you're ready to use. I think that especially those experienced users who already have a general idea of what they're doing, I think that it speeds up the process tremendously. That's how I've been using it. So,
yeah. And we're expanding the copy functionality. So soon we'll have it in the listing audits and other areas on the site as well. So if you see a bunch of tags and you go, geez, I would really like to copy these to my clipboard, good chance is we're already working on that and we'll be releasing that in the next month or so.
I missed one from Linda. She had asked, any idea how many people are now able? Oh no, I already read that one. Never mind. The Explore feature on Etsy. I thought it was a Keyword Explorer question that I missed.
Okay.
Sorry, Linda. Okay, let's see. Rose said, random question. Would 1 3-star review cause your sales to crash? You have to, so 3 stars is in Etsy's eyes a neutral review. 5 stars is, great, fantastic, wonderful. 4 stars is still good. I know a lot of people panic if they get a 4-star, still good. 3 stars is neutral. It's not good or bad in Etsy's eyes. 2 stars, that's getting pretty bad. 1 star is really bad in Etsy's eyes.
Yep.
Etsy tells us that when it comes to our listing quality scores, these are, the magical invisible scores that Etsy won't share with us, but we can often feel them, especially if you've ever made 1 sale at a listing and then you magically make another sale of that exact same listing like a couple hours later. Well, that's likely because Etsy has noticed that, hey, people are interested in this product. Let's bounce it around. Let's show it to some more people and see if we can get it to sell again. So we hear a lot of people talk about having like their sales kind of clustered together on one item on one day. And, that can be an explanation for that. But would 1 3-star review cause your sales to crash? I highly doubt it. Now, if you suddenly had a spike in like negative reviews, maybe one day one of your listings got like a bunch of negative reviews, I dare say that Etsy would stop showing that listing to as many people because they would start kind of seeing you as a liability. That's going to hurt your listing quality score. But 1 3-star review, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I'm with you, Starla. I think that's highly unlikely. Etsy know that you will occasionally get a grump that just cannot be pleased. Even a one-off negative review, like a 1-star, shouldn't cause your sales to crash. I know my wife's had a 1-star review and she feels like the next day or the next few days things have gotten slower, but it bounces back every time. Yeah. If you have several in a row, then Etsy are going to go, hang on a minute here. There's something very strange here. I'm going to go into the speculation territory here, but I will say this. If you got a negative or a 3-star review and you've got a whole bunch of orders, like a big spike in orders that are all in transit, Etsy may look at that as suspicious and slow things down just to make sure they're not going to be disappointing a whole bunch of buyers who end up with nothing. So if you have these characteristics of someone that could be sketchy, that would be a reason why your sales would slow down. Crash, I don't think so. Sounds like you're not like that. If you're one of those sketchy operators, you're probably not tuning in because all our members are awesome people. However, if you can reach out to Etsy, ask them. I don't know that you're actually doing anything wrong here. I'll ask this. Is this the first season you've been shopping on Etsy? Could it be something that's seasonal that is just falling off the popularity list now as we're coming into fall? that may be something to think about as well.
Yeah, there are a lot of different factors that could be leading to that lack of sales, and it's likely not anything that you've done wrong.
Yep.
So you have to kind of think about, like Anthony said, seasonality. Last month, Anthony posted a screenshot from early September about, just Etsy traffic in general. And I mean, it was terrifying to see it. Like, Etsy traffic was bad. But that's because kids are going back to school. People are pinching out that last little bit of summer fun. And, now we're about to hit October when people are going to start thinking about the holidays. So
yeah, it'll bounce back up again. It does it every year about this time.
And specialty, is this being recorded, and how would I access it? It'll be right here on the YouTube channel. Right when we're done streaming, you'll be able to watch the replay, plus all the previous replays. There's actually, on the homepage of our YouTube channel, there's a live tab where you can click and see all of our past live videos. Ms. asked, what's the purpose of the calendar?
You know what? I was just presenting that yesterday. So think of the calendar as a planning tool. So you may not be familiar with all the significant events and holidays in the US, or maybe in the UK, or other countries. We have them in the calendar to help you. So I would strongly recommend you periodically go into the calendar and look 3 months ahead and go, what's coming up there? And then go, oh, it's Christmas. Oh, it's Mother's Day. Oh, and I say 3 months because I really think you need about 90 days to get your listings warmed up and whatnot. And, especially if you haven't taken any pictures yet or you haven't made it yet. So that's what I'd use a calendar for. Habitually go in once a month and go and look 3 months in advance and see what's around the corner and prepare for it.
Yeah, I'm big on 4 months because when you look at the craft stores, when they start putting stuff out, that's usually a good indication. That's when, especially in the US, you guys know how Hobby Lobby and Michael's and all those craft stores are. They usually do 4 months out. So I'm a big fan of 4 months because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to, plan and change things and double check things. So, but definitely,
I was going to say, think like Target or Walmart or wherever you shop.
Yes.
The Christmas stuff's out already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin asked, should we be looking for green across the listing audit page?
Not necessarily, no. Green and red doesn't mean good or bad. So the scales there are really to help you understand, is there a lot of search volume? Is there a lot of competition? For search volume, we just happen to choose green as the color. So if you see a lot of green, there's a lot of search volume. In the competition, if you see a lot of red, there's a lot of competition. A lot of search volume, as people will tell you if they talk about the long tail in search, high search volume is great. It means that a lot of people are interested, but typically those keywords are very general and there is very little purchase intent for those keywords. Competition, similar sort of thing. If you've got very little competition or no competition at all, doesn't mean it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You are guaranteed to win here. It could mean that no one's interested because no one cares about it. Conversely, if there's a lot of competition, could mean that a whole bunch of people have figured out something special and you need to be in that as well. So don't fixate on getting all greens. Not an issue. Just find words that are relevant to you and look for signs of life. So you want to see that there are some searches. You want to see that there is some competition. And that to me tells me there's signs of life. There is a potential market for you and what you're selling based on the keywords you've picked.
All right. We'll probably hit the last, let's see, we have 4, well, one more came in. So we've got 4 questions total, and then we'll probably cut it. Yep. Sprouted Dreams had asked, are we allowed to use political figures, faces, and quotes on product? No, you cannot use anything that you did not come up with yourself. Depictions of celebrities, political figures are celebrities. You don't own their likeness. Especially those political figures who have their own merchandise. So the last thing you want is for them to come after you. Rule of thumb is if you don't own it, you didn't invent it, and it's not from your own brain, and you don't have a license to sell it, then it's not legal for you to sell.
Good way to put it.
And Cynthia asked, can you change your Etsy store name? Yes, you can do that within your settings. I believe there's a limit on how frequently you can do it. I
think they just changed it recently too.
Oh, did they?
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Like as in the last 6 months.
Oh, no,
I think previously you could only do it, I don't know, once a year, something like that. Oh gosh, my memory on this is not good. It's not something I do very often. But yes, you can. And if you haven't done it already, then you surely haven't hit that limit, so you can most likely do it.
All right, let's see. Is the product SKU used by Etsy to determine whether products are the same or different? Etsy does not use SKUs. The SKU is for your reference only as the seller. It is for your personal organization.
Yep.
Correct. Or if you're using a POD service, obviously you have to have your SKUs synced.
It's your number.
All right, let's see. You missed my question. I did see. Okay, sorry. In the future, will there be any way we can resize columns on eRank?
I saw that question pop up. I think it's an awesome idea. Absolutely. I'll speak to the developers, see what we can do there. Last time I checked the code, it was really hard, but that was about 2 years ago, and there are some really interesting enhancements to. I won't bore you with the details. I'll look into it.
All right, Valerie. Let's see. Listing categories. Will listings in too many categories wash you out or not rank as high?
Can't see why.
Yeah. What do you mean by categories? Are you talking about when you are within your listing editor and you're selecting your categories and attributes? More categories are good as long as they're applicable. Don't, for example, use a Christmas category or attribute for your product if you think it would make a good Christmas gift, because the Christmas attribute is for products that are Christmas themed, little Santa Claus on it or something. But no, in fact, it's more like having more fishing lines in the water. It's more opportunities. It's more little highways that create possibilities for people to find your products in search.
Great.
All right, we'll grab this last one.
Okay.
Could you explain more about super keywords? So superstar keywords, I assume. How should I use it?
Okay, so think of it this way. If you put, I don't know, 100 different words in your listing, and that's not many. When you think about your title, your tags, and your description, you put 100 different words in there. How is Etsy going to figure out what your listing is about? What you have to do is you have to sort of focus your efforts into a superstar keyword. So it could be a phrase, 2 or 3 words that really accurately describes your listing, and it's that word that you really absolutely want to be on page 1 for, like top of page 1. That's your superstar keyword. So think of it just as a concentration. Etsy, if you have to dismiss everything else but these 3 words, that's your superstar keyword. Think of it like that.
Yeah. What is your item?
I say 3 words, but it could be 4 words, it could be 2.
Yeah. What is your product down to its core? What gift for mom should not be your superstar keyword? Sterling silver sapphire necklace might be a great superstar keyword. Make sure that your superstar keyword is what your product is.
Yep.
All right. That's it. We got through all of them. I put in a comment that said questions now closed, so we didn't end up with a flood that we couldn't answer. I hate doing that to people, but we appreciate you guys. Thanks for sticking with us through all the tech mishaps. There are some links for you guys down below, though. Let me see, and I'm going to pop something else into the chat for you all. Etsy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holiday workshops coming up for free. Sign up for this stuff, guys. It's free knowledge. I popped those links down there for you in the chat. And then down in the video description, there was a holiday policy update that I covered at the beginning. If you guys want to, browse through that, there's a link in the description. And Etsy's new share and save program, I've linked that. Short answer about the share and save, if you missed it, is that we like it. So
Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks everyone for being patient with us,
Yeah.
and enjoy the rest of Thursday and Friday, and have an awesome weekend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.